fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kira's show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya, and well, him and his familia, they have gone on their first mission. Now, Midoriya and his familia, they went to the Philippines to retrieve Midoriya's Vangola box, which was being held in a warehouse that was guarded by men armed with firearms. Now, Midoriya and his familia, they had a plan. However, they did find that the warehouse, it was booby-trapped, and they quickly did have to make their escape. Midoriya frying the consoles and destroying all evidence of them ever being there. Now, with that being said, they did then hop back on the plane and head back. Midoriya and Kendo having a bit of a heart-to-heart about exactly what happened. And Midoriya, he reassured her that she did not kill anybody. Now, with that being said, everybody did return with one day left before the UA Sports Festival. And well, it was quite interesting. Whenever Midoriya he did come back, Inko she was worried. Her asking Midoriya about exactly where was he. As we have her reborn, he would tell Inko to not worry. He was taking very good care of the kid. And Inko, she was thankful. Midoriya he had reborn, and he was fine. Now, Midoriya he is surprised. His mom, she does like reborn. The guy, he's apparently very charismatic, along with the fact that he somehow was able to convince her he got into UA without a quirk. It's very good. His mom is unaware that he's in Class 1A, however. But she was only barely made aware that he was at least involved in some sort of villain attack. Now, Reborn was able to keep most of the stuff under wraps, and Inko she's apparently none the wiser. At least as far as Midoriya does know. Him wondering exactly if his mother does know about the Mafia. Now, we do then have where Midoriya he would spend this day resting. And he does also look at this Vangola box. Now, Midoriya he does ask questions about it, asking Reborn about exactly what this thing can do. And you do have a Reborn, he does inform him. That is a skybox of the Vangola family. It was given to Midoriya for the express purpose of using it. If he does want to summon his box weapon now, he can. However, that box weapon is not something that Midoriya he would expect. Now, Midoriya he does go to summon his weapon, as we do have what pops out of the box. Now, Midoriya will cut away from him for now. Now, for anyone who does know this series, this is not one of the Vangola box weapons that Midoriya has to go through a ton of trials for. That will be later. Anyways, now, with that being said, we do cut to the next day at UA, where people they do watch Izuku Midoriya walk up on stage and begin to give an announcement. and Midoriya he does think about what to say, as he does talk about the USJ directly, saying that he understands that during that event, 2 of their students and 2 of his classmates have died. Midoriya explaining to everyone that he felt personally responsible for that happening, and he tried to take out the villain who murdered them. Midoriya was put in a life and death situation that many pros do face, and, well, he tried to give up his own life in order to save their own. However, he was trying to bargain with a man who was insane. So, their lives were, well, as he would put it, they were going to die as soon as he got their hands on them. A lot of people do hear what Midoriya is saying, and Midoriya he does continue, explain that the casualties could have been a lot worse. And they do at least have to focus on the fact that the rest of the UA students are currently still alive. Now, people are hearing what Midoriya is saying, as Midoriya he does continue on and talk about how they need to remember those who fell, however, and bring the villains to face justice. Now, a lot more people are beginning to cheer, and Midoriya he does then go to head back into position, as we do have a few things that have happened. Midoriya, yeah, there's a few problems about the UA in this AU. Midoriya can't use his gloves, and he can't use his pills. Now, Midoriya he was given a few options: cheating, sneaking the pills in, and other things. However, if Midoriya he does get caught, he will be disqualified. And we do currently have on top of UA, or the stadium, where Reborn he is sitting. And he is sitting there with his pistol. As it does start. And Reborn he does time it perfectly. As soon as it does start, Midoriya he does come running out. He does immediately shoot him. Midoriya being hit with a death penetrate flame of Dying Will. As Midoriya he would hit the ground and directly fall down. Now, Reborn he does know that Midoriya he holds a lot of regret in his heart. And Midoriya he does immediately jump back up, focusing on what was going on right now. Him looking down at his hands before he does just start running off. And you do actually have where Mr. Aizawa he does seem surprised. Now, you do actually have President Mike, who he does comment on Izuku Midoriya and his particular quirk, as Mr. Aizawa he does find it peculiar. When did this boy find enough time to improve? Now, Midoriya he easily runs through the obstacle course, leaving many different people in his dust. As I do want to say he does get through it, at least in second or third. And then there is the cavalry battle, where Midoriya he does rely heavily on members of his familia. Now, those members, they do include Bakugo and Todoroki, which already do enough make his team extremely powerful. And then you do actually have their frontal shield, which would be Kirishima. Now, we do then cut up to the fighting portion. Izuku Midoriya he is still in these battles, and we do have from Midoriya he did pull Reborn aside. Now, Reborn he was confused. However, Midoriya he did ask him a few things. Number 1, Midoriya he does not want to participate in the battle portion, and Reborn he was surprised. And Midoriya he did then give Reborn a few reasons. Number 1, if Midoriya he does participate, the members of his familia that would go up against him, they would not face him with their full power. Along with that, he's heavily outmatched, even whenever it comes to the fact that he could use Dying Wolf Flames. Now, Reborn he is surprised to hear about this. Along with the fact that Midoriya he does explain something. Something soon is gonna come, and he wants to at least not be put in the limelight and harm the members of his familia who would see him. Midoriya explaining that if he does at least keep his familia members hidden, then that would be good. Midoriya he just put a target on his back using the flames like that. And Reborn he can see Midoriya's reasoning. He knew that Midoriya he would at least have people look at him. And he was specifically shooting Midoriya and making him participate for the fact that Vangola 9 wanted to see the boy use his flames. And exactly how far he can push himself that way. Now, you do actually have Reborn who would accept Midoriya's surrender. As Midoriya, he does do something that would upset everyone. During the first match, Midoriya he immediately turns around and goes to walk out. As you do have where Shinsho, he is completely surprised. He didn't even begin to use his brainwashing. As Midoriya he would have explained that he quits. Now, Mr. Aizawa and many of the people are very confused. This guy was a very good competitor, and from what they can tell, he would have been the MVP. Now, you do then have the familiar battles, where, let's just put it in a way, Kirishima he goes up against, well, Shinsho, and he would win. And then there is Ida, who does face off against Mei, and then he would then face off against Ibarra. This being where Ibarra, she would take him out. And she would win quite easily. Now, you then have the next battle, which, if I remember correctly, is Ayama versus... not Ayama. Let's say it's... It's Mina versus... Kirishima. That does work. Now, Mina and Kirishima, they do face off against one another. And Kirishima, he does take her down. As we also do then have the next match. Now, the next match, it would be Todoroki versus Tetsu Tetsu. And Todoroki, he does end this quite quickly. Him immediately covering the entire area in front of him in ice. And Tetsu Tetsu, he does completely get sealed in the icy tomb. Now, after that is said and done, we do then have the battle that would have happened in canon. Uraka versus Bakugo. However, there is a small absence. And we do actually have where it's... let's just say... Let's say it's somebody random from Class 1B. The battle would be ended quite quickly, since Bakugo he would be able to easily take them out with his explosions. Now, you do then have where it's Denki versus Ida, or Ibarra. This match goes exactly how you would expect it, and Ibarra, she would win. And, as I did previously state, yeah, I think that works. As I did previously state, it is then close to the final battles. Now, Kendo would have come out on top against Momo. Todoroki, he would have won against Tetsu Tetsu, facing off against Kendo, where Todoroki, he does try to freeze her, or... wait. Kirishima, he goes up against Hmm, shit. Kirishima goes up against Kendo, and the two do face off. As they do have an intense battle, but Kendo, she does come out on top. And you do then have where Midoriya, he does go to stand up and walk away. As you do actually have Reborn, who would watch Midoriya leave. And we actually do then cut down to the room where Todoroki, he is waiting. As there is a knock on the door, and Midoriya, he would come in. Izuku. Hi, Todoroki. "Hmm? I'm surprised to see you here. You shouldn't be. Now, I'm gonna say some things that you might not agree with. Hmm? Okay. I'm not participating in these battles because I know you guys would hold yourselves back against me. Especially because I'm quirkless. Hmm. That makes sense, boss. Oh, good. You're in that particular mindset, so that makes my next few words easier. I want you to use your quirk against Bakugo. Hmm? Yeah, I kind of intended to. Your flame side. Hmm? Really? Yes. I don't know exactly why you don't use it. Some way to get back at your father, I'm guessing. Some turmoil or trauma that made you want to fight against him. I want you to use it. It's your quirk after all. Now, what I would tell Todoroki that he understands if he doesn't. However, holding himself back, he will lose. And Midoriya, he knows that. Now, Midoriya, he would then walk out of the room. And Todoroki, he is left with those words. If he does not use his fire, he will lose. So, that's pretty bad. Now, Todoroki, he is called up to battle. As we do have where Midoriya, he does go back to where he was sitting. And you do then have Reborn. Now, Reborn, he would see Midoriya as he does come back to sit down, asking where he went. And Midoriya, he would just tell Reborn that he went to go talk to somebody. Talking to your familiar before their battle? Something like that, yes. That's very good. You took initiative. I'm aware, Reborn. Now, you do then have where Bakugo and Todoroki, they do face off. Todoroki, he does have those words ring in his head as he does fight using his ice against Bakugo. He is going to lose. He is going to lose. Now, Todoroki, he does have faith in himself. The Vangola super intuition. It has to be wrong sometimes. Todoroki, he is a prodigy, and his father is the number 2 hero. He can't lose. He's trained, and he's worked hard. However, he's only worked with his ice. Now, we do have where Bakugo, he's completely tearing up Todoroki's attacks, and just blasting through them with incredible speed. Now, Bakugo, he is slightly stronger than in canon, and this is proving to be a little bit more difficult for Todoroki, since he's already starting to have his body be covered in permafrost. And Bakugo, he's quickly trying to go on the offensive for a close range attack. As we do actually have Midoriya, who he does see Endeavor, beginning to shout for Todoroki to use his flames. Now, Endeavor, he does continue screaming. As Midoriya, he does go to stand up and pop 2 of his pills. Now, as it does happen, Todoroki, he does focus back on the arena. As he does go to ignite his hand slowly. Now, Todoroki, he does hesitate. He doesn't let these flames build up high, but maybe he can at least regulate his body temperature with them. He will show them, but he won't use them. That's what he's thinking. Now, Midoriya, he does rush in, and he does directly appear in front of Endeavor as everyone does see him. The boy with the flame on top of his head, and the gloves. Midoriya directly looking at Endeavor as he does float there in front of him. Everyone surprised at the boy, he's flying. Now, Midoriya he does tell Endeavor that's his quirk, and Endeavor he will never have control over Todoroki. As Endeavor he does stare down at Izuku, informing him that he doesn't care. The boy's finally using his quirk so he can train the boy properly, and he can then become his weapon. Midoriya reaching out and clocking Endeavor across the face. As everyone in the stadium, they do see that. Endeavor smashing against the stairs before he does get back up. Midoriya going to walk up the staircase past multiple pro heroes. As they all do see this kid. This guy just knocked Endeavor on his ass with a punch, and he disqualified himself from the battles? Now, Midoriya he does inform Endeavor that he's holding his son back from his full potential, just by being who he is. Endeavor him going to blast Midoriya with flames. As Midoriya he does quickly throw one hand back and throw one forwards. Him using an X burner. Now, this is quite interesting. As you do then have our Midoriya, he does at least show off a technique that Vangola 9 left instructions for, and he begins to at least try to attempt it. Now, Midoriya he hasn't formally tested it before. However, there's no time like the present. Midoriya allowing the flames on his head to try and begin to blink. As everyone, they do see that. Now, everyone is quite confused as Midoriya just blasts himself up into the air. And he does then get ready to bring his hand outwards once again before bringing his hand backwards. As Midoriya, he is waiting. And Endeavor, he does just stand there as he does begin to start charging up his own flames and telling the kid that he's going to take him down for being so arrogant. Now, you do have where All Might, he does go to stand up. And he does want to step in, however, you do actually have where Principal Nezu, he does stop him, informing him that it appears that young Midoriya, or this young man, he is attempting something different. Now, Nezu, he does know. Whatever this boy is doing, he believes that it will be very good for his internship. Along with that, it may be a new technique to specifically combat a flame hero. The boy, he could not participate because of his quirk. However, this will help him. Now, Endeavor, he does blast flames directly at Midoriya as Midoriya, he does create an X burner. As his flames, they do shoot out and encounter Endeavor's. Now, as the two do collide, they do seem dead even. And Endeavor, he does feel proud. However, he's shocked whenever something does happen. His flames are beginning to get covered in ice. And everyone is surprised to see that. As Midoriya, he does encase Endeavor in his flames and ice, and he does then go to float back down. Before he does walk back down the stairs and throw his leg into the stand. As does bring up his fist, telling Todoroki that he needs to fight with his full power. And that isn't him screaming at him to do so, that is an order directly from his boss. Now, a lot of people, they are surprised hearing that. His boss? That makes no... This being what Todoroki he does, being to start laughing as he does blast up his flames. And everyone, they do go back from that one battle in the stands to looking at the other one directly down there on stage. As Bakugo and Todoroki, they do face off with their full powers. Now, this is where Bakugo, he does take out Todoroki, or let's just say Todoroki he does win actually, to give him some credit. And he does face off in the finals against, I believe it was Ibarra. and he would win. Now, Todoroki has won the sports festival, and Midoriya, he even did show that he was particularly talented. Since as far as Yue knew, he had a fire quirk. However, now he apparently has an ice ability? Question mark? Now, this was quite interesting. And you do have Reborn, who he was left proud. He knew Midoriya sneaking out at night would have at least paid off. It appears that he's attempted to do so. However, or he attempted to try this technique whenever he first did hear about it. However, this appears to be his first successful attempt at trying to perform it on an opponent. Now, with that being said, we do actually have where Ida, he did leave earlier because of the information about his brother. And he did want to face off against the hero killer known as Stain. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.